So good.
Welcome to So Good, all you little rascals, and let me start this off by shattering your childhood into bits. Nostalgia is a trap, and your favorite franchises are milking you like the robots milked Keanu Reeves in The Matrix. Sorry, look, it had to be said, because today we're going to be talking about the nostalgia-fueled member berries content that Hollywood, and Disney in particular, have been forcing down our throats for the past half-decade. Why is so much money being dumped into remaking older stories? Why are some praised and eagerly anticipated, while others are, well, just cringy? Before we get started, credit for this video goes to Plague Doc Games, who suggested this video in a previous comment. If you have a topic you'd like me to discuss, never be afraid to comment it down below. And of course remember to hit the like button and subscribe for more content on a weekly basis. Okay, so I'm sure you've all seen, heard, and possibly cringed at some of the recent examples of companies cashing in on nostalgia or just flat out remaking stories that have already been told. Remaking them with some sort of minor gimmick like 3D or live action. Disney is probably the most famous for popularizing this recent trend, as they've been remaking almost all of their older classic animated stories via a live-action format, and unsurprisingly, these movies have made boatloads of money. What can I say? Everyone is subject to nostalgia, and nostalgia makes us do stupid things with our money. This isn't anything new, right? After all, nostalgia is the thing that will make you spend $70 on an authentic and functional Ocarina of Time replica, despite the fact that you have no clue how to play it and have little drive to learn. But why is this practice actually bad? I mean, aside from some post-buyer's remorse, nostalgia cash checking by big corporations can't be that bad, can it? And that seems to be the trap we've all fallen into. While remaking things might not seem like a big deal at first, the more consistently big companies like Disney can make money by remaking their older movies and stories, the more they will. And the more money and effort that's pointed towards remaking older stories, the less there is left over for newer, fresher, and more engaging stories. This is because new stories are just that, new, with no fan base and nothing already established. These stories may be a bit harder to make and market, but when one sticks the landing, it becomes the next big classic. Look, I'm not saying I don't like these classics. Movies like Aladdin, The Lion King, Fantasia, and The Jungle Book were fantastic. And that's actually part of the problem. There's no point in remaking something that was already so outstandingly fantastic, because the remake will almost always pale in comparison. Why remake Mewtwo Strikes Back when the original was a hand-drawn masterpiece with fantastic dubs and writing? Why remake The Lion King when the animated format for the movie still looks fantastic and suits the story better than CG does? And why remake Aladdin when Robin Williams will always indisputably be the quintessential genie? This isn't to say these movies are terrible. I heard Will Smith actually did a decent job portraying the genie, but the issue is that these remakes compete with the originals, and the originals are almost always better ways of introducing someone to the story. Let's put it this way. No one in their right mind is going to show their kids the live-action version of Aladdin over the animated one. Not because the live-action one was necessarily terrible, but because the original is just so much better. And that is the issue with remakes and live-action adaptations. If there's no hope that they will ever be better than the originals, we are essentially wasting the time and resources required to make a huge big-picture movie on movies that will fade into obscurity only a couple years after they're released. Now you may be asking yourself, if something was already great, why go ahead and dump millions of dollars into remaking it, if the remake has almost no chance of being better than the original? Well, the answer is simple. Money, and a lot of it. Each one of these Disney live-action adaptations has made well over its budget and gone into the green zone of profitability. However, most of these movies have already lost all relevance and are already being overshadowed by their better original versions. Now, don't let me say all this for you to just go on after this video hating nostalgia. Nostalgia isn't a bad thing and can actually be pretty amazing when done correctly. Movies and shows like Detective Pikachu, Star Wars Galaxies of Adventure, and the Broly movie are all nostalgia projects that were meant to cash in on people who loved these concepts or stories when they were first introduced decades ago. However, what these shows and movies do differently than the previously mentioned remakes is that they add something fundamentally new and exciting to classic stories that we all love, not just a gimmick. Galaxies of Adventure is a breathtaking series of short animated videos that adds so much dynamism and storytelling to the original Star Wars franchise. And it does so in a way that actually enhances the original story. I love Star Wars, but Luke and Vader's original lightsaber duel wasn't nearly as action-packed as this is. The Broly movie took fan-favorite character and absolute unit Broly and gave him the origin story he deserved, developing what could arguably be the best and most action-packed anime movie of all time. And Detective Pikachu, well, I talked about why this movie was so good a couple months ago in a different video. The moral of the story is, nostalgia isn't always bad. However, it is something that can be weaponized to trick you into supporting unoriginal and pointless remakes. Don't fall into that trap. But don't let it blind you from enjoying great examples of nostalgia-rich and high-quality content that passion-filled individuals poured their hearts and souls into. Anyway, that's my spiel. I hope you guys liked this video. That Lion King movie looks pretty good, don't it? In all seriousness, thank you for watching, and don't forget to comment your thoughts down below. Oh, and like and subscribe while you're down there. It helps me feel the love. With that, I'll send you off with my classic reminder to go out there, find something new to love, but most importantly, keep on loving good stuff.